Ugh, what a morning, viewers, what a morning. Hope you're all well today, happy and healthy. I thought I'd just share a bit of casting with you, Sorry you can't see my face there. I'll get something to lift that camera up a bit. Let me get this one. It was just me in my garage, mate. Got crap to do everywhere. I'll tell you what, I'll try and get this organised a bit for you. Hope you're all well. Hope you had a good night's sleep. That's better. I'll see if I can get it up to there. There we go. No, still not bloody high enough. Alright. Hey, thought I'd share some casting with you today. I've got to do heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps. And I've had a bit of a couple of days off here and there. Just concentrating on those ones that I needed to paint. Thick latex. I thicken it all up. I have a special thing that thickens my latex up. It's not like water. It's I can take it from water to thick cream and then back to water again if I wanted to. Because my moulds are fiberglass. Okay, they're not plaster. So they're not used the same way as the plasters. And that's just how I learnt to do moulds. Basically get to that point there, and just start using my spoon. I'll try and get it on the right angle for you. Just get rid of some of this out of here. Can't say I don't hand make my mask, eh? So basically I've got to wait for that to cool down in the bottom there, wait for it to cool down. So I leave it to sit for, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. I'll show you these other ones that I've got sitting here. I've got a whole, I've just been doing casting all day, boys. It's still on here. So I've got all of this to do, really. I've got a whole lot to do. I've done the Corey. Alright. So he goes outside. Got the Myers. You see. Okay, he goes outside. Take about an hour for it to cure in the sun. We'll move on to the Ghost. This is my own Glow Ghost. I made it from my own original vinyl. And they still complained at me for recasting my own vinyl. So I was labelled a recaster. I was labelled a recaster in the rooms. And yet Americans are allowed to do that. Americans are allowed to recast. It's not a problem. Just everybody else. One set of rules for them and one set of rules for everybody else. I think it was just to safeguard their own business, mate. I really do. That's what the feeling that I get, is they were just worried that I would interfere in their own ghost glow selling, you know what I mean? So, you need to get rid of me. That's what I know. That's what I noticed a lot of the time. They were the same people that were actually selling the mask that were doing the complaining. And the idea is to get you out of the room, okay? So that way you can't offer your stuff in there. Only they can sell their stuff in there. And I thought it was, they're upset about the mould, but it's not. It's the sales. See, because I don't sell my stuff. I mean, I sell it, don't get me wrong, sorry. But I don't go in there advertising the rooms. I'm not interested in that. I just show my pictures. My stuff's all private. It's all privately done. It's for people on my friends list, in my and also in my glow room. And I make stuff for them. You know what I mean? So I never considered that. Right? then I sat down and I was thinking about it, and I thought, fuck, yeah, that's why that would have been a part of the reason they get rid of you, is because you're costing them sales, right? Because if anyone buys your Ghost Glow in the room, that means they're not going to buy the Smiley Simantl one. Right? So I think it was just a pure business thing. I mean, 10 minutes ago, these people are your best mates, remember? They're all calling you bro. Everyone's a bro. Hey, bro. Hi, bro. Everyone's a bro, right? Got 10,000 relatives on eBay. On Facebook. Everyone's a bro. All right, so... and those same people call for your scalp. And I thought it was just because of that, you know, they're offended because I recast it, rah, and it wasn't, man. It's because you're costing them sales. Okay? Anybody that buys your glow is not going to buy theirs. It's as fucking simple as that, really. And also mine was half the price. Mine's only, I charge, $60 Australian money for it. Some people I even charge 50 because they were my mates. So I charged them $50 Australian for a glow, for a raw Ghost Glow. So incredibly cheap in comparison to 100 US. You know, that's almost half price. Okay? So it would be good to get rid of you. It would be the wise thing to get you out of the room. Anyway, you let it strain. Just let it pool down in the bottom, just like the rest. And then I use my spoon, because it's just a lot easier for me than letting it sit there drain. In the old days, I used to just put it upside down and let the latex drain out of it. But you'll actually waste a lot of product, a lot of latex doing that, unless you've got it straight into the bucket. And yeah, I didn't have that. Always get that little tiny air bubble right at the end of Ghost's thing. I don't know if you can notice. It's a tiny little fucking air bubble there, right at the end, right there. And if you don't pop that, it'll just screw up the whole tip. The whole tip of the mask will be fucking screwed. But that's it. You just drain the pool. See how I've drained it? And then from there, you leave it to drain a little bit more, because it starts to edge up a little bit more. You can see it coming down. All right, you can see it start to do it already, but I've removed, 92% of it or something like that out of it. And then from there I just let it pool a little bit. Oops. Okay. Excellent, man. This latex I did really thick, fucking two layers and it's done. So we'll just leave that to drain, and we'll move on to Mr. Iowa. Again, the same thing. Let it pool, and then scoop it out. This is a lot easier than letting it strain. Oh, in case you're American, I've got a fucking funny ass story for you. The Australian government now is removing genders from driver's license, and they're going to remove height, and they're going to remove weight, and they're going to remove the picture. You got to laugh at that fucking shit, seriously, man. So you can get pulled over by a cop, and you're going to hand them basically just a piece of plastic. It's not going to have any information on it except a number, because you don't want to offend anyone, right? So I find that fucking just hilarious as fuck. I really do. So I've done some research into it, and it's from the gay and lesbian people. They're fucking full-on complaining at the government. And of course, don't forget, we just had the same-sex marriage, right? Postal vote, right? Same-sex marriage, postal vote. And they said at the beginning, the government, oh, this is just a postal vote, just to see how, what it feels like. Right? So as soon as they got their fucking postal vote, bang, the law was fucking done. Within days, they changed the law, okay, for a postal vote, okay, which only 70-something% of the population actually voted. So now we have gay marriage and that in Australia, and they're going to change the whole family unit. They're going to change the whole definition of it, of the family unit. because there's more than two genders. Did you know that? Did you know that, guys? There's more than two genders. There's not just male and female. Oh, no. There's a whole range. Whole range going through, right? So it's a fucking joke. I mean, seriously, as a heterosexual male, when a cop pulls me up and I've got to produce my license, you know, I want my details on there. I don't want him thinking, oh, are you male or female? Because he's going to have to ask me, isn't he? He's going to fucking have to ask me, right? So it's just a fucking bunch of political bullshit. It really is. Because actually, you know, on my passport and all that, they want to remove all the passports too, your gender on the passport. They want to remove any weight and height and all that on the passport. And they're even pushing for the photo to be removed on the passport. That's fucking just ridiculous. So, you know, if you look back on one of my other DVDs from a few months ago on my Facebook, you'll see that I told you that it wasn't just same-sex marriage that they were going for. They're not just going to... That won't make them happy. That won't placate these people. All right? And everyone was going mad at me and calling me all these kind of names, telling me that, you know, well, yes, it is. That's all they want, right? And I'm trying to tell them that's just beginning. It's just the door opener, right? It's just the way to get, to get the foot in the door. After you've got the foot in the door, well, you can fucking change anything you want. And then I've done a little bit more thinking, right? And I looked it all up on the computer. And do you know how many gay politicians there are, guys? Do you have any idea how many gay politicians there are? I mean, sit down, man. Sit down. I know you've got more better things to do in your life, right? Because you're a fucking real important person and all that. But you should really understand who's governing here, who's making the rules and regulations. And you'll find in Australia that we have a majority gay government. I fucking can't believe it. I really can't. You know, most of the ministers, all gay. They're all gay. Fucking how disappointing is that? And they're supposed to be the, you know, they're supposed to represent Australia. They're supposed to represent the people. And really they're there to push their agenda. They're there to push their ideology onto everybody else. Okay? You know, I was talking to a bloke in the market the other day and I was explaining to him, you know, about safe schools and all that kind of thing. And the guy's calling me a total liar. To my face. You know, everything I'm talking about is total shit. You don't know what you're talking about. All the rest of it. I got a full blast. And I just said to him, man, have you done anything at all? Have you looked in the computer? Or have you just telling me that it's not real? Because, you know, it offends you. He said, oh, no, I haven't done any, I didn't look at anything. So you haven't looked at anything. You haven't looked at anything. You haven't asked a single fucking question. And yet you're telling me what my 3-year-old is learning in school. You're telling me what my 3-year-old is learning. And he's going, well, what do you mean? You know, I said, mate, well, I'm the one with the kid going to school, and I'm the one that's concerned because I'm a father, and you're not a father, but you're standing there telling me that everything's fucking sweet. Everything's cool. All right? You know, I mean, they happen to be teaching 5-year-olds here how to put a condom on a dildo in class. They are teaching 5-year-olds. Okay? That's disgusting. All right? They're giving them books to come home to. These Bob and Bill marry. You know, Bob and Bill buy a house and all this kind of shit. You know, just my wife has looked at this stuff and just fucking, you ain't going back. My kid doesn't go back to that school. My kid doesn't go back to that daycare centre. It was a daycare centre, you know, and my children is reading things that there's no 5-year-old that should be reading this. There's no 4-year-old that should be reading this. And now I've got little Echo, and we went to put her into daycare centre. And I actually get hold of the manager and ask them, are you part of the Safe Schools program? And she was absolutely delighted to tell me that we are not. We believe in the family unit, and we will not be teaching children this kind of agenda. We won't be teaching, introducing it to children. Because it's quite scary, and that's just a step in the door. All right, right now we've got absolutely no control now. They control. They're in the government positions, so they'll just push it and push it and push it and push it until they get what they want. And it's quite a sad day for Australia. You know, I don't want my gender removed from my passport. I don't want my gender removed from my driver's license. My wife doesn't want that. Everybody that I've spoken to that is a real fucking Australian doesn't want that. So we have a minority group dictating how we should run our lives, what's best for us, you know. And if you say anything, you're all these different words that they come up with. You're all these different words, all right? I'm in the post office yesterday. 2 days ago. You know, there's this old lady there, and we're just talking away because we're standing in line waiting to get served. And she actually said to me, you know, there's no celebrations anymore. She's an old Australian lady. And she said, when I used to come, you know, when I was before, there used to be streamers and for Christmas and Easter and all those kind of celebrations. And she said to me, I know why they don't have them anymore. She said, and that's just really bad.
Food, lunch.
Oh, okay, thanks, love.
For your time.
Oh, I didn't hear you, love. Didn't hear you. All right. I've got to go and have some lunch, guys. I'll see you a bit later.